All right, everybody, welcome back, or welcome to another episode of the 259 Project. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Evan Blankenship, and I've been documenting my attempt at my very first marathon, and you guessed it, to go under 259 with a stretch goal of 250. So for those of you that are new here, you can check out the rest of the videos and get caught up. There is a playlist under Project 259. In today's video, I really wanted to share about building out a shoe rotation. So we are at the very tail end of the training block. Today was the last long-ish run, 15 miles, just kind of moderate pace. I didn't want to push it too hard. It's really hot, really humid out there. So didn't want to dig a hole, just wanted to get a nice long-ish run in there, and then we begin the taper Monday. So tomorrow will just be a nice, easy family 4-mile run, and then we'll start the taper on Monday. So race day is 1 week from today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's video. In this video, I want to take a look at building out a shoe rotation for a training block. Now this is going to look different for every person. You know, let's take into account what race we're training for. You know, a 5K is going to look way different from a half marathon and even a marathon, and then obviously the ultras and trail and different things like that. So take your actual race, your event into account, and then budget is going to be a huge part of what this shoe rotation looks like. A few tips that we can look at going forward. What kind of runs are we going to do? So that's really going to influence what shoes I need in my rotation. Everyone's going to build this out a little bit differently. I am going to just give my account and what worked for me. For reference, this is training for a marathon, my very first one, and I did run 7 days a week. My weekly mileage stayed around that 65 miles. I think a 50-mile low week and 70 was the max. You know, running 7 days a week, obviously you're gonna have to get your easy and recovery in there, but I did want to do that. That was the way I could tackle the volume. I am working full time, so I can't do double runs and long days like that and to still afford myself a full day off. So that's how I did mine. I felt really good. I never felt like I was overtrained or stressed. So, and the shoes really do help in what you're doing. You need something that can actually let you go easy and feel recovered. So you got to take care of your legs, you got to take care of your feet in your training. Just that very bare minimum, what kind of shoes are we going to need? The three main types, now this is going to, you know, each one can kind of take on different shapes, but the three main types of runs that you're going to do: easy, speed, and long run. For me, my weeks looked like Monday was easy, Tuesday was short, faster intervals, Wednesday was kind of that easy mileage again, Thursday was a tempo run, Friday was recovery, Saturday was my long run, and then Sunday was just some extra miles, no real agenda other than just getting in some good miles. Normally that was a family run, wife and pushing the baby in the stroller. So that was pretty much what my week looked like. So let's go ahead and dive into the shoes that I use. Kind of to make this easy, we'll just go from the recovery easy runs all the way up to maybe race day run. Very first thing was this Ultra Torin 4.5 plush. Now I originally bought this shoe as a recovery day shoe. So Ultra is known for their zero drop. The 4.5 plush is extra soft. There's all kinds of, you know, nice good padding, a very soft midsole, and, you know, and a very good outsole. So I knew it would last the distance. And I did run in that shoe for quite some time, but I ended up finding myself transitioning that shoe into an everyday wear shoe. A lot of times at work, I am on my feet for a good amount of time. So I found that to be excellent. You know, it really, with that zero drop, it kind of really helped stretch out my calf and the soleus, just kind of all day wear. So you didn't have that extra heel lift just through normal shoes. So I really found that to be a really good shoe for me. So I took it from my recovery run and just transitioned it to an everyday wear. Moving right along, that takes me to, I got a big pile of shoes here, so you can't see it, and it's a mess, and I'm glad you can't. So moving right along, that takes me to New Balance 1080, and this is the version 10. They do have an 11 out. The reason I went with this one is a really good reason that we'll get into later is on sale, save money. They did make some updates. I tried on both, and to be honest, the updates were not enough to warrant the savings I could get on this one. I needed a shoe that could run some miles, take care of my legs, and just get me through the easy mile days. So this one was a go-to. I ran in this shoe a lot these last 10, 12, 13 weeks. Just this was the easy miles, the 4s and the 5s and the 8s, but it can handle a lot more. I ran my 3-hour run in this shoe. It was great. Like, this is very soft. Now granted, that run specifically did not have a time goal in place. There was just that pickup for the last 10K, I think it was, but I wanted something just soft and baby the legs. This shoe nailed it. Next shoe, Asics Nova Blast. Now this shoe is amazing. Like, I was so happy about this shoe. Tons of cushion, so soft. Like, you can see, like, look at that, how soft that is. Cool thing about this shoe is it can run quickly too. Like, it is a 10 mil drop, so your heel's pretty far up there. Kind of gross looking right now, but this thing can go the distance. I have just shy of 500 miles on this shoe, and there is still a good amount of life left in it. Like, you can see some wear, you can see some spots, but I mean, this shoe will go the distance. They did come out with the Nova Blast 2. For me, I do feel like the upgrade, the updates to the 2 versus this one is enough for me to get the 2 versus redoing this one. But like, if we're trying to save some money, this is an awesome shoe, and I would highly recommend looking at this one. Some of the things that they changed, they lowered this. I know some people were getting some blisters here. That never happened to me, but one of the other things is they kind of redesigned a little bit of the heel. They took it from a 10 mil drop to 8, and then redid just a little bit redesign on the tread. Not for more wear, but I think just for that little bit snappier, and you get a little bit more forefoot stack. So that's where the 8 comes from. Not a reduction in heel, but a little extra in the 4. So it can really go the distance in those long runs. So what this shoe is good for: easy days, tempo days, long run days. I kind of forgot to mention that on the New Balance. Easy days, long run days, that's recovery days. Awesome at that. Next shoe, Hoka One Mach 4. Now this shoe was my go-to long run shoe. It can do a lot more than that, but that's what I use this shoe for. This could be used as an easy day shoe, definitely a tempo day shoe, and obviously long run. I did many 20-mile runs in this shoe. This was the shoe I wore today in the 15 miles. Now the only thing compared to some of the other ones, it's not quite as soft as some of the other ones I've already mentioned in terms of like an easy day or recovery day. Just an everyday easy day shoe, it can absolutely tackle that, but I preferred something just a little bit softer on those days, since I wasn't trying to target a specific pace. I just really wanted to get the miles in, and I had pace in mind on other days. If there was a pace in mind, this was a good shoe to go to, because it can definitely run quick and it can run long. So now we're starting to pick up the pace a little bit. You'll start to notice a little bit from each shoe. You're gonna get a little bit more race look to them. They're gonna be a little lighter. They're going to be not quite as thick in the heel. They're gonna have a little bit more of a trimmed down tread. So this one here is the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. This shoe is phenomenal. This shoe, primarily what I use this shoe for was my Tuesday runs, those short intervals. This shoe is really snappy. It's lightweight, excellent grip, excellent tread. Not really an easy day, definitely not a recovery day. Short intervals, tempo run, and you could take it on those mid distance. I don't know that I would stretch it all the way out to 20, but I would feel completely confident and comfortable in this shoe, kind of at a snappy half marathon, 15 mile. So that's probably, I have done a couple of those in this shoe. I didn't take it on more runs like that, just because I had other ones that kind of fit that purpose a little bit better. Great shoe, very happy with this shoe, highly recommended, highly recommended. Very snappy shoe. That takes me to this shoe. This is the New Balance Fuel Cell RC Elite. They have come out with a 2. I'm not familiar with that one. It does look like it's reviewed very well, where it kind of made some performance gains where this one was lacking. This one was designed as their marathon race shoe. It is carbon plated. It's very soft. Like you can tell, like this thing is super squishy. The tread pattern is really cool. It's like these little triangle nubs, I guess, if you will. Like I've taken this one on a 23-mile run. Excellent. It performed wonderfully. It's not like the snappiest of carbon plated shoes. So what I really found, I knew I wasn't gonna use it for my marathon. Like when I've kind of got into some other shoes and trying some new things, it just didn't do exactly what I wanted to do. I loved the fit. Like you can kind of see it's got kind of like this funky kick out to it on the side, but I kind of like, when I run, I kind of like roll through like that, and I think that's why they design it. That's they have a shoe designed for like the 1 mile race, and it's kind of takes some notes off of that one. Excellent breathability, very snappy. I found myself using this one on tempo runs and even some short interval runs. Like if I knew the routes I was gonna do, I didn't have a bunch of turning, this one was great. And I even ran in this one when it was kind of like when the trails, now granted it's 100 degrees out today, but when we did have snow and our bike path trails were covered in just that little bit, because of this tread pattern, it had awesome grip. So I really like that. I know they have since changed this part of it and then also redesigned a little bit of the whole shoe. I think this one got a pretty big update on version 2. So I really like this one. You could pick up this one on sale if you're looking at something just a little snappy workout shoe as well. So good one to think about. So now that moves me to this guy. You remember this one. We did a review on this. Atreyu's The Artist. Very cool shoe. Still really happy with it, and I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with this thing. It's a marathon racer, like no doubt about it. It is an absolute marathon racer. So when I got it, you need to run in it. You got to test it. You got to see how it fits, what it's best designed for. For me, absolute long run shoe, tempo day shoe. It's got some high stack, and the fit on the upper was not as good as some others. Like it wasn't bad. I don't want to say it's bad by any means, but it was just a little looser than I liked. But you know, you could tighten up the laces and it worked fine. I never felt sloppy in any of my long runs with it or tempo day runs. It's an absolute marathon racer. So this could be tempo day, long run day, or race day. Still waiting to hear from all of you on what your thoughts are on if this one gets the nod or moving into maybe the next shoe. Very snappy shoe. It is a carbon plated shoe. If you're looking at a racer and you kind of want to pinch the pennies, $100 and they're running orders right now. So do you get the performance of high end, maybe the Nikes and the Sauconys and the New Balance, Adidas? Absolutely, for half the price, and a lot of times under half the price as the other one. So definitely a cool company to look at. And now this is the Saucony Endorphin Pro 1. This was going to be my race day shoe. It's no longer going to be the shoe I wear on race day. So what did I use this shoe for? I actually did take it on the track. Got some short intervals on the track, tempo days, long run days, and most likely, you know, obviously a race day shoe. So it wasn't the shoe I used for most long runs. Like I said, that was the Hoka. I just don't like to train a ton in carbon plated shoes. So a lot of times I would do my tempo day in that shoe, just to get some miles in it, get your feet used to it, but not, you know, running big long miles in these kind of expensive shoes, minus the Atreyu's. This is like the cheapest of the big names race shoes, and the Atreyu's half of this. This is 200 even. Excellent shoe, good breathability, nice high stack, and sorry, kind of gross, but you know, really good tread life on it too. So this one's approaching, I think, 200 miles for me. And then that takes me to this one. We saw this one last week. This is Saucony's Endorphin Pro 2, so the upgrade to the last guy. And Nice upgrades. We talked about the upgrade with the lacing system and the heel counter, and basically everything from here down stays the same. So midsole, carbon plate, outsole stays the same. A little bit of update to the upper and the lacing system, the tongue a little bit. So race days, we're looking at one of these two. So I need you to vote. Let me know your thoughts. Which way should I go? What way would you go? Obviously, again, fits the exact same roles as the Pro 1. So tempo day, long run, and race day. So I did do a long run in this one. I wanted to see how it fit and felt on my foot over 20 miles. And I have to say, it was really nice. Fit really good. That is pretty much my running shoe rotation. So we saw a lot of different things, from recovery, all day wear, easy day, tempo, interval sessions, long run, and race day shoes. So I was doing the edit and realized my camera shut off mid video. That is my shoe rotation. It worked really well for me. I had soft shoes to run easy, and I had shoes to be snappy and then also go the distance. So when you're building out your shoe rotation, a few things to keep in mind when you're looking for it. So don't be afraid to shop around and look for deals. Maybe look at last year's model as a really good way to save some money. And then another thing is to look at the wear and the life expectancy of the shoe. For example, Asics, Brooks, and my New Balance, they can really go a long time, where the Hokas seem to struggle to make it past 200, 250 maybe, where the Asics, like I mentioned, are 500 and still have some life left. Thank you for sticking around to the very end of the video. If you do have any questions about building out your shoe rotation, different shoes that you might want to look at or have questions about, I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm absolutely willing to give you my tips and my advice on anything you might have. So leave me a comment down below. Also, click the like button, subscribe, and then the bell to get notified every time I release a new video. It does do the channel a lot of good when you do that, like growing a new channel from scratch. It really does help, and I appreciate it. Also, be sure to follow me along on Strava and Instagram, where you can follow along my training. You can see the taper this week, and then check in and leave me a comment on the race and see. You'll be the first one to see what the actual time. I want to hear what your guys' prediction on the actual race finish time. So leave me a comment down below what your prediction is on where I'll finish my first marathon in. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap it up, and I will see you in the next one. As always, go forward in power, love, and a sound mind. Peace.